Y'all already know what it is. Jay Williams, Let's Live Life, and we're back. Let's talk about some of these guys that ain't never been to jail before. Some of the first timers. Some of the slick shit they try to pull. Them being victimized, them trying to get over, them doing everything wrong. I want y'all to take heed to today's stories. Listen to what I got to say. And do the complete opposite of everything y'all hear. I done seen dudes come in and think they were going to trick guys and just roll out on bond. And it not end so well. I done seen guys come in and get tricked because they thought that they could be nice to guys in jail. That jail is full of honest people. People that if you give them a chance, they're going to do right. Not the case. So today we're going to talk about the first timers in jail. And some of the things I've seen them go through. I'm not going to say you need to be locked up or should ever be locked up. But I was blessed to have started at an early age so that by the time I made it to jail, I wasn't green. I already knew what to look for. I knew I couldn't trust these dudes. A lot of dudes, a lot of females are way too trusting with people in the world. Y'all know I done seen it. I know I done lived it. So let's relive it. Right, so we spoke on store boxes in the past. Let me tell you what a store box is if you're new to the channel, new to this type of information, and then we'll go forward. A store box or a store box man is a person who has pretty much a large variety of items that are sold on commissary, stockpiled up. You fresh, you just got to jail, stomach is rumbling, you haven't been to canteen yet, you go to this man, you need some soups. He's going to give you some soups. You're going to pay him back those soups with interest. 2 soups might turn into 3. If you're a green bean, you're a first time and you don't know no better, he's going to give you 2 and tell you give him back 4. This is a common thing. There's a lot of ups and downs when it comes to being a store box guy, especially in jail. This is all leading into the first story. With being the store box guy, you run a risk of somebody telling on you. Store boxing is illegal in jail. You're not allowed to do it. They will shut you down, take your commissary. You're going to run into situations where guys are going to try to run game on you. Oh man, my money ain't show up this week, or hey, I got you next week, or they messed up my order and didn't put your stuff on there. So being the store box guy, you're at some point or another going to have to get violent to let people know you are going to pay me. Also, with being a store box guy in jail, people go home all the time. Somebody can run a tab up with you and just roll out the door because their release date is rolled around and you didn't know it. Somebody can run up a tab with you and make bail and just go home and you didn't know it. Now, on the upside of it, if everything runs smoothly, every week your merchandise is going to build and build and build and build and build from all the interest you've collected and the items you've collected back from the other inmates. Any of the money that gets sent to your books that you get from the outside world, from the free world, that hits your books, that stays in your account, you're not going to have to spend because you're going to be able to eat off of your store box and the extra items that are coming in and live good. That's the ups and the downs. My first story takes place with a younger white dude. Comes into jail, and there's this look that first timers have that anybody who's been locked up knows the look I'm talking about. When they come in, it's almost like a scared deer that doesn't have any woods to run back into. Like it's got to go forward. This young dude comes in, and nothing out the ordinary. You see a lot of scared dudes come in. He comes in, looks scared to death. Does not look like he has ever been in trouble in his life. Doesn't look like he belongs here. Looks like he might have stole something out of a store. Typical suburban white guy mixed in with a whole bunch of convicts, inmates, guys that are headed to prison, guys that are doing short-term bids, guys that are headed home. He gets in there, gets up with a couple other white guys, and these guys talk him into, hey, when you going home? oh man, I'm not leaving for a while. I ain't got no bond. Like, I got all these different, charges. I'm not sure what his charge was. I didn't kick it with this dude. I just watched everything unfold. So he convinces all of them he's got no bond. He's in here with them, just the long haul. Hey, we in this together. They tell him, hey, we, go to the store box, grab something to eat so we can meal up. You got money coming in, you can just pay it back on store day. That's what he does. He tells the dudes, goes to him, hey, look, I'm locked up. Y'all ain't got to worry about me going home. I ain't got no bond. Borrows all these different items throughout the week. Meanwhile, I'm noticing that he's on the phone a lot. And he's not on the phone like homesick. He's stressed over the phone and constantly on the phone. To me, that's a red light. That's lights going off in my head. If I was store box man, why is he so stressed over that phone? I knew why he was stressed. Why others didn't pick up on it, I didn't know. He did have a bond, and he was waiting to get bonded out. And with the bond situation, when you get locked up, they're either gonna, if your charges aren't that serious, a lot of times they'll let you go on what's called your own recognizance. Means you can sign yourself out and go home, like if you caught a DUI first time. Or you may have a very low bond. I've seen guys that couldn't make a $50 bond, and that's true to God. I've seen guys that were sitting in jail with a $50 bond and didn't have a person in the world that gave a shit enough about them to come get them out, or they had screwed everybody over and not one single person would come put up the $50 to get them out. Then I've seen guys that had $1 million bonds. I had $100-some thousand bond at one point. And then you have guys that have no bond. Well, he's told everybody he has no bond. He's on this phone day after day. Hey, when y'all gonna get me out? When y'all gonna get me out? Like, store day is approaching now, and he owes a bunch of different guys in here. They don't care what you're talking about. They don't care what happens with your commissary. Come store day, if you ain't got that bread, you ain't got them soups, you ain't got all them items you borrowed, that's your ass. Somebody's gonna beat you up, because now everybody else is looking at you like, what you gonna do? You know what I mean? If he ain't gonna pay you, I ain't gonna pay you. Then the next man's like, well, shit, he ain't paying him. I ain't paying him either. Now your store box has just caused you to look like an idiot, not get paid. Loaned all your shit out and you ain't got nothing, right? Dude stays on that phone, stressing over his bonds, stressing over this bond. We're all sitting out there in the day room, and in the jail, there's not a lot to do. You congregate, talk. It's not like prison. You're not going outside. You're just contained to these cells in what's called a day room, which is like a common area everybody goes to. We hear the guards call his name, bag and bag. Bag and bag means collect all your shit, exit stage left, get up out of our jail. Dude starts snapping. Yo, I thought you ain't had no bond. You done borrowed all this shit. Bro, I swear for God, if you ever come back here, I'm going to beat your ass, man. And dude's just kind of grinning on everybody, dabbing his homeboys up. The guard is in there telling him to get his stuff. So can't nobody do nothing to him because the guard's standing right there. He collects his stuff, grins at everybody like, yeah, bitches, I got y'all. I'm rolling out deuces. I'm going home. I made bond. You know what I mean? On some, I did have a bond shit. Haha, I got you. Ain't nothing y'all can do to me. I'm being escorted to the front, change it back into my clothes. Enjoy y'all stay in jail. Guard escorts him out. Dudes are mad, big mad. His homeboys, dudes are pushing up on them now like, hey, you was kicking it with dude. You got to pay that. You vouch for him. That's your homeboy, right? You gonna pay me. I didn't take no loss. Just because he left don't mean I'm not getting paid. Now you're gonna pay me because you rock with him. You was rocking with him, so I want my money. One way or another. I know you ain't put my list in this week, but next week, your list is gonna consist of all the items this dude owes me, right? All this chaos going on in here. And I'm just sitting back, just kind of watching everything unfold. I was famous for that. I like to watch and observe. And I'm like, here we go. I know some of these dudes ain't gonna pay his debt. I know these dudes that are owed money are going to get their money, and they're going to get it in commissary. They're going to get it in blood. One or two ways it's going to go down, right? Tell me why maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours pass, and I hear the door slide. Schling. I see an officer walk in, and here walks the same guy that just walked out to make bond back into the pod with everything that he just took to the front wrapped up in his arms. You thought he looked like a deer when he first came in. Now he's done shitted on these dudes, tricked all these dudes, just did some sneaky shit and thought he was going to be okay, right? He comes back in and dude's like, oh, something fucked up with your bond, huh? Yeah, got that ass now, right? You can see other dudes standing in the doorway just smiling like, yeah, I'm about to punish his ass when he gets in here, right? First, he tells the guard, he's arguing with him the whole time, man, I can't come back in here. They're like, you going back in there. Either that or you go in the hole. Well, take me to the hole. And I've told y'all in the past, they had implemented this thing where if you want to go to the hole and you fear for your life, you need to tell on somebody. Otherwise, we don't care what happens to you. You got to tell on somebody, or we're not just putting you in the hole for protection. Dude didn't want to do that. They put him in there. They roll out. He goes out and sits at the table with the dudes he was kicking it with earlier, and they get up and move away from him. Like, bitch, you just put us in a situation to get us to fighting in here. Now we owe all this money because of you. You're a liar, right? So I hear him trying to plead his case. He's like, I didn't have a bond. They called me up there. I ain't know nothing about it, man. I ain't know nothing about it. Like, dude, you was smiling in our face, making little slick comments. You knew everything. You knew the whole time you was on that phone, you was hounding your people to bond you out, bond you out, bond you out. That's what happened. They came up there to bond him out. He got to the front, and the city hit his ass with a couple more charges and revoked his bond. So his people paid the initial bond. The new charges dropped, and when the new charges dropped, the new charges came with no bond. So y'all just lost the money on the first bond. He's not coming out, and he's got additional charges that he just got indicted on. To say he got beat up would not even do justice to the situation. He didn't really get beat up. He got spit on. He got slapped. And I'm talking one of those that you can just hear echo throughout the room. Dudes were just, the first dude just walked up on him, walked in the cells. He's putting his stuff away. He looked up. I didn't see the slap. I heard the slap. Pow! You better have my shit on store day. Another dude goes in there, does what he's going to do to him. Dude got put through the ringer. Do not think that you're going to go to jail and outsmart people who've been doing this longer than you. That's that instant karma. You're going to get over on somebody only to go down and get bonded out and get turned back around and sent back into the lion's den. Do not go in jail borrowing from anybody. Have some self-discipline, self-control. If you're hungry, been hungry before, fight through it. Wait until you get your stuff. Borrowing shit from people is one of the quickest ways to get yourself all types of slapped up. Thinking you're going to roll out the doors, let me tell you something. You ain't home till you're home. And even then, you might not be safe. Listen and learn, people. Some guys in jail just don't know when to shut up. They talk too much. They reveal too much. They get in there and they think everybody's their homeboy. They think that everybody wants to hear them talk all day, when that's not really what people want to hear. Pause. You're going to hear noise all day. There's never really a quiet moment. Unless it's 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, everybody's locked in their cells. If you're in a dorm, you're probably never going to have a quiet moment. In them dorms, in the jails, you're going to hear dominoes slamming all night. You're going to hear dudes up there playing spades, slamming spades on the table. You're going to hear dudes beating on the table and rapping. You're going to hear dudes in their little cut areas at their bunks talking. The dorm is just a constant, loud place all the time. In the cells, most normal people go to sleep at a certain time. You'll still hear people that stay up all night and sleep all day to try to sleep their time away talking at night, but I prefer the cell any day. We get a guy by the name of Tony, a black dude, into the jail. Excuse me. Tony comes in, and Tony's one of those dudes that he'll start talking to you, and you'll be like, all right, man, I got to make a phone call or something. I got something to do. And Tony will keep talking. All right, bro, it's cool kicking it with you. And Tony will keep talking. He can't take a hint on when to shut up. Tony likes to brag about everything he did in the streets. Tony tells dudes, man, I was a pimp in them streets. I was pimping them hoes. I was selling that dope, selling that coke. That's Tony. All day long, he wants to brag. He wants to tell stories. That's a common thing in jail. It's a common thing in prison. You ain't got nothing else to talk about except what you did out here in the free world. Tony would tell story after story after story about things he had done. Here's the problem with that. Everybody in here has committed a crime. When you're talking about pimping hoes and certain situations on robbing people and selling drugs, there's a chance at some point or another you might run across somebody that you've done wrong or that knows somebody you've done wrong. So running your mouth all day about what you did in the streets could be a really, really, really bad thing. I'm going to drop off of Tony for a minute and give y'all a quick story that I actually dealt with to confirm what I'm saying. I was up Greensville many years ago, many moons ago, and we get this Spanish guy on the yard, and I'm walking with my homeboy. And every time the Spanish guys leaned up against the fence, every time I would walk by him, he would cut his eyes at me, stare at me, and then look away real quick. My homeboy picked up on it before I did and said, hey, every time you walk by that dude, man, he grits on you, and then when you look at over that direction, he looks away real quick. You know that dude or something? I said, nah, I don't think so, man. So I get to looking at him. We walk by him again. Sure enough, he's staring at me. Walk by him again on the next lap. He's staring at me. I said, yeah, something's up with dude, man. I'm watching to see if he stares at anybody else when they walk by. He doesn't. He just goes on about his business. But as soon as I go by, he locks in on me. I lock over eye contact. Boom, he looks away. I know there's a problem. Some reason or another, this dude's got an issue with me, or he wouldn't keep looking over here. Either that or he thinks I'm cute, and that's a problem too. So I end up pushing up on dude. I said, what's up, man? What's up? I said, you keep staring over at me every time I pass you. I picked up on you looking at me several times now. Do we have a problem? Nah, everything's good. I said, everything's good? Then what's all the eye fucking for? You don't remember me? I said, nah, I don't remember you. Who are you? I've never met you. He said, you robbed me. I said, I robbed you? He's like, yeah, in such apartments, such year, you and your homeboy robbed me. You did this to my head. I said, look, man, that was a long time ago. I do remember what you're talking about. Yeah, that was me. If we got a problem, let me know. We'll go ahead and get it out the way. Because I'm not going to walk around this bitch watching my back because you feel some type of way. For what it's worth, my bad. I'm sorry. I was a different person then. Sorry that I hurt you. Sorry that you fell victim to my madness. It's okay. He took it on the chin. He let it go. It could have went somewhere much worse. I told you that to get into what I'm about to tell you. It goes to show you that there's a very good chance you can run across somebody when you're locked up that you've done wrong. So the dude Tony's sitting out there and he's playing cards and he's telling people, yeah, man, I had this big booty black bitch down in the projects named Star. Star was getting money. I pimped this bitch, man. This bitch bringing in $1,500, $2,000 a day, right? And there's a couple different dudes sitting around the table playing cards with him. And we got this big white dude in there that was actually my homeboy from the streets. He's dead now, rest in peace. I'm not going to say his name because he's dead. Big jacked up white dude, muscle bound. Not tall, maybe 5'10", 5'11". Pretty boy, bald head. Known for trashing dudes. Known for just, even in the streets, for beating dudes' asses, right? Had a reputation. I'd done time with him in the detention center. Went to high school with him. I knew when it came down to the get down, he was a savage, right? Well, he's in here on a dope charge. Later on down the road, he done started messing with that needle. He done started messing with that heroin. Gets jammed up in the projects. Gets locked up. From us knowing each other as juveniles and stuff, we would talk here and there, and he'd be like, man, I did a lot of shit I'm not proud of out there. I said, yeah, that's most dudes that had drug habits, you know what I mean? It is what it is. He's like, nah, man. He's like, my baby mom, man. He's like, we was both strung out on dope, and she was out there tricking and shit, and, you know, I'd catch her. He's like, I hated that shit. He was like, I beat dudes' asses, pull her out of cars. He's like, but she would continue to do it. Wasn't nothing I could do about it. And he had told me, he was like, I knew it was a black dude down at Hillside that was pimping her out, right? He's like, I had smashed him out, then she would just get with another dude, and he would start pimping her. He was like, it was just like a never-ending cycle. He gets into the whole story of they're feeding their dope addiction, right? Tell me why he's sitting at the table with Tony, and Tony's they nonchalantly slamming spades, and Tony's like, yeah, man, and I had this big booty white girl with blonde hair named such and such. And I look up, I'm at the next table over beside them messing with the dominoes. And when he says a name, the name rings a bell to me. I look up and I look at my homeboy sitting across the table from him. And he's looking at his cards and he looks up. I looks at this dude. He's like, man, I had this chick in the hotel room It'd be 4 or 5 guys in the room at one time. Like, she was a superstar. My homeboy said, what you said her name was? And he told, he was like, yeah, I think I met her before, man. He was like, she had a tattoo and stuff. Tony's like, yeah, that's the bitch. I was pimping that bitch. That's the bitch right there. Yeah, hell yeah. You used to trick with her. This is when I tell you, running your mouth, talking shit, speaking too much on what you did in the streets can get you hurt. He's like, yeah, she had the tattoo and shit. Man, shorty used to, she would, and before he could get another word out of his mouth, my homeboy come across the table and just rocked him. Boom! Sent him backwards off the bench. Got up, walked around the table, grabbed him by his shirt, and just commenced to beating on him. Beating on him, beating on him. Whole time he's telling him, that's my baby mama, bitch. That's my girl, bitch. Tell me what she did again. And he's just slumping dude, hitting dude, hitting dude, hitting dude. Now the problem is, we ain't got no officer in the pod at the time. We were short-handed on staff. Staff would come and go, do their rounds here and there, and then you might not see them for another 2-3 hours after this. Man, he beat on his boy and beat on his boy and beat on his boy until his hands couldn't take no more. Switched up hands, beat on him with the other hand. And this is one of those beatings that is like you see on TV where it's like, all right, bro, he's had enough. Like, you need to stop hitting him. If he ain't dead already, he's probably going to die. You should probably stop beating on him, right? My homeboy just beat on this dude. Beat on him till the point that his hands hurt too bad to hit him anymore, right? Left him just laying there in a pile of his own mess. The dude's pissed all over himself. Used the bathroom all over himself. Everybody else at the table got up because what just happened wasn't really a fight. It was more barbaric than anything. One moment you're sitting there throwing spades down, and the next moment you look over and this man's just getting, it's almost like watching somebody just punch a punching bag laying on the ground, because when he rocked him, it sent him, sleeped him, put him on his ass. I don't think he felt the second punch, right? The guards end up coming in. Tony walks right up to the front where they're at, looking like Elephant Man, looking like a rotted eggplant. You know what I mean? Face doesn't even resemble a human. Like, his face is just, it's nasty. You know what I mean? My homeboy just beat the daylights out this dude, the dog shit out this dude. Like, all that pimp talk right up out of him, because he wanted to sit there and brag about the girls, the hoes he was pimping in the streets, not knowing that the dude sitting right across from him was her baby daddy, that the dude sitting right across from him loved that girl, that he had a kid with that girl. Watch your mouth when you get in those jails. Watch what you tell everybody. Go in there and brag about what you did out in the streets. Go in there and brag about all the females. You better hope you don't run across one of them men. Go in there and brag about robbing people. And you better hope that somebody you robbed ain't in there, or that one of their brothers ain't in there, one of their family members ain't in there. Watch your mouth. You never know what your mouth could get you into. Everything ain't for everybody. Control your lips. You like to run your mouth, trust me, at some point or another, it's gonna get you in a lot of trouble. There's a whole lot of do's and don'ts when it comes to jail, when it comes to prison. You take these videos I've made and you put them together and you actually listen and you pay attention, you might be okay. There's going to be times where you find yourself in situations that are unavoidable. What you do in that moment is going to play a major part in what happens in your bid moving forward. But a lot of what happens is definitely avoidable. You running your mouth and bragging about things you did in the street, especially crime related, can end bad for you. You thinking that you're going to come in there and that karma don't apply to a man that's locked up is going to end bad for you. That's what gets us all locked up to begin with, is thinking that we're smarter than everybody else, thinking we commit crimes and that we're not going to get caught. You're going to go in a store and steal something, and that one of the 700 cameras in there ain't going to see you do it. You're going to go in jail and try to rip somebody off and make your quick exit, and that's 100% what's going to happen. Nah. When you get turned back around and sit back into the lion's den, you will answer. Karma will come calling. You run around in these streets, robbing people, stealing from people, mistreating women, and go to jail and brag about it, it's a good chance karma will come calling. My advice to y'all is live your best life. You ain't got to commit crimes to get by out here. You don't. That's just an excuse. If you knew better, you'd do better. That's what they say, right? There's no excuse on not knowing better, especially after watching these videos and listening to these stories. That's what it is today. Hope y'all take my advice, live your best life, and stay free. But anyway, these jails, institutions, detention centers, these prisons, they're all just crazier worlds inside of this already crazy world we live in. And as always, y'all know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to keep y'all entertained. Are you not entertained? And y'all know this is Jay Williams. Let's live life. To all my real ones, and there are some real ones watching, because y'all still watching me. Y'all know how we do, man. Salute.